Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you guys there. I was just checking out the NBC World Series' new app. You could find this app at the App Store. All you need to do is type in NBCWS to be caught up on all things NBC World Series.
NBC World Series, it all happens here.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you here at the Lawrence Dumont Stadium along the banks of the Arkansas River for the 84th National Baseball Congress World Series, powered by Westar Energy. This is Frank Martinez, and I will be your play-by-play announcer for tonight's game. Tonight's game, we feature the visiting team, the Hays, Kansas Larks, who are coming in here with a 1-1 record. The Kansas Larks are the 2018 Jayhawk League champions. They will face the home team, the San Diego, California Stars, who are also coming in with a 1-1 record here in pool play. They come out of the Western Baseball Association. Here's the starting lineups for today's game. First of all, for the Hays Larks, leading off and playing left field will be number 12, Ryan Randall. Batting second, the shortstop, number 31, R.J. Williams. Batting third and DH will be number 16, Wyatt Divis. Batting fourth and catching will be number 25, Easton Kirk. Batting fifth and playing first base, number 33, John Rensel. Batting sixth and playing right field will be number 15, Clayton Raspberry. Batting seventh and playing third base will be number 3, Cole Sullivan. Batting eighth and playing second base will be number 9, Daryl Myers. Batting ninth and playing center field will be number 6, Matt Munoz. And pitching for the Hays Larks will be number 4, Fabian Muniz. Head coach for the Larks is Frank Leo, assisted by Steve Sedbrook and pitching coach Keith Harper. Now here's the starting lineup for the home team, the San Diego, California Stars. Leading off and playing third base will be number 27, Brent Schiffentizel. Batting second, the second baseman, number 33, Brady Jocelyn. Batting third and playing right field will be number 20, Ryan Culp. Batting fourth and DH, number 19, Dallas Seidel. Batting fifth and playing shortstop, number 46, Ryan Koopa. Batting sixth and playing left field, number 22, Cabot Van Til. Batting seventh and playing center field will be number 3, Tristan Salinas. Batting eighth and playing first base, number 25, Adrian Andrews. Batting ninth and catching, number 23, Hank Gonzalez. And pitching for San Diego, California Stars will be number 5, Noah Quintana. Coach for the Stars is Mickey D., assisted by Sam Hughes and Anthony Claudwell. Our home plate umpire is Ben Harlow, first base Greg Mudd, and at third base Conan Strobel. All right, we're ready to get started. The Hayes Larks leading off will be number 12, Ryan Randall. Gets called strike one. Randall has played in 2 games, has been up the bat 9 times. He has 2 hits, 1 run, 1 double, 1 base on balls, and 1 strikeout so far here for the tournament. Call strike 2. 0-2 now the count, as we're just now underway between the Hayes Larks and the San Diego Stars. Missing high and outside for ball 1 is Noah Quintano. Quintano is a left-handed thrower from Santee, California, sophomore from Grossman College. I don't have his height or his weight. It was not listed in the roster. There's a ball hit into right field. Cope gets under it, makes the catch for out number 1. F9 is the play. Going to bring up the shortstop, number 31, R.J. Williams. Williams has played in 2 games, batting .333, has been up to bat 9 times, has 3 hits, 1 run, 1 RBI, 1 base on balls, and 1 strikeout. Call strike 1 on R.J. Williams. Pitch in there for strike 2 by Quintana. The count goes to no balls, 2 strikes, with 1 out here in the top half of the first inning. There's a ball missing outside. The Hayes Larks have red jerseys with blue helmets and white pants, red socks. That pitch missing low. And the Stars have a red and blue jerseys with white pants and blue hats with red bills. Count is 2-2. There's a ball popped up. Looks like it's going to be out of play, so the count's going to stay at 2 balls, 2 strikes to R.J. Williams. With 1 out here in the top half of the first inning. Nobody on. There's a swing and a miss, strike 3. And Quintana records his first strikeout as he records the second out of the inning. Going to bring up the designated hitter, number 16, Wyatt Divis. Divis has played in 2 games, has been up to bat 10 times, has 3 hits, 2 runs scored, and 1 RBI. Also has 2 strikeouts. Count is no balls and 1 strike now to Divis. Swing and a miss by Divis, a left-handed batter. A left-hander against left-hander up. 0-2 now the count to Wyatt Divis. And swinging strike 3 as Quintana records his second strikeout of the inning. And that's the Larks score no runs on top half the first inning. And we'll be right back.
Join us and help kids learn to walk, talk, and play with their peers by supporting Heart Springs pediatric programs. Heart Springs' 15th annual Pedal Fest bike ride is on Saturday, August 25th. Hop on your bike and pick the ride that's best for you. Pedal Fest has a route for everyone, from a 100K to a 5-mile family ride and 60K gravel ride. After the ride, rest your weary legs with a cold beer, lunch, and some family fun. Go to kwch.com for more information. Join the ride and help make a difference.
And we welcome you back as we go to the bottom half of the first inning. This game between the visiting team, the Hays, Kansas Larks, and the San Diego, California Stars. Defensively for Hays at first base will be number 33, Renzo. Second baseman will be number 9, Myers. Third base, shortstop, number 31, Williams. Third baseman, number 3, Solomon. In left field, number 12, Rando. Center fielder will be number 6, Munoz. Right fielder, number 15, Raspberry. Catching, number 25, Kirk. And pitching for Hays, Kansas, will be number 4, Fabian Muniz. Muniz on the mound for the Larks. Muniz is a right-handed thrower from Santa Monica, California. He's a 5'11", 195 pounders. He's a junior out of Arizona Western. And he'll be facing, as San Diego comes up the bat, the third baseman, number 27, Brett Schiffentizel. Schiffentizel is 0 for 4 as he has played in 2 games. He's been up to bat 4 times, has no hits, 1 run, and 2 RBIs. That doesn't make sense. Must have had some sacrifice flies. Also has been hit by pitch 1 time. And the count goes to 1-1. Sorry about that. That threw me off for a second. All right, the count is 1 ball, 1 strike here as we're in the bottom half of the first inning. Second pitch by Muniz. Call ball 2. So we go 2 balls and 1 strike now to Schiffentizel. The ball hit to the shortstop, Williams. Williams goes to Renzo for out number 1. A 6-3 put out, recorded in the books. It's going to bring up the second baseman, number 33, Brady Jocelyn. And Jocelyn has played in 2 games. He is batting .571, has been to bat 7 times, has 4 hits, 2 runs scored, a double, and 2 RBIs, and 1 strikeout. First pitch is a ball 1 to Jocelyn. And Muniz's pitch is in there for a strike. Evens up the count now at 1-1 as we end the bottom half of the first inning. No score yet here in the ball game. That ball missing outside from Muniz. Count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. Missing. Count is 3-1 now. We had a great crowd here just for the game before this one, the 7 o'clock feature game, as the Seattle Washington Studs beat Santa Barbara, California Foresters 5-0. Great ball game. And Jocelyn goes to first base on a base on balls. And that's big because the Santa Barbara Foresters were averaging 19 runs a game. This was the 3rd game. That was 19 runs a game. They scored 18 runs the first game and 20 runs in the second game. Ball 1. And they were held scoreless here by the Seattle Washington Studs. In other action today, the first game, the Wellington, Kansas Heat beat the Clarinda, Iowa A's 11-0. And in our second game at 3:30, it was the Dodge City, Kansas A's 5-2 over the Lone Star, Texas baseball team. Count is 2 balls and no strikes. Now to Ryan Culp is the batter. He is batting .300. He has played in 2 games. He's been to bat 10 times, has 3 hits, 2 runs scored, 2 doubles, 3 RBIs in those 2 games that he's played. Count is 3-0 now to Ryan Culp. Call strike 1 as Muniz hits the outside corner. So we have 3 balls, 1 strike with a runner at first base and 1 out here in the bottom half of the first. That one right down the middle. So the count goes full now, 3-2. And there's the ball that's fouled off to the first base side. And a nice catch there by a fan who just stood up and put one hand out and made that grab. What a great catch there. Should have got a little da-da-dun on that one. All right, full count now, 3-2. That one missing outside, so Cope will be hustling down to first base. Jocelyn will move to second as both base runners have reached on walks. That's going to bring up the designated hitter, number 19, Dallas Seidel. Seidel is a left-handed batter. He comes batting .222 as he's played in 2 games, been up to bat 9 times, has 2 hits. That ball hit to the pitcher who goes to first base. The record the second out. 1-3 the put out. Both runners advance.
Shortstop, number 46, Ryan Kuba.
Cope goes to second base and Jocelyn moves over to third. Brings up the shortstop, number 46, Ryan Kuba. Kuba is batting .500 as he played in 1 game. He is 1 out of 2 with 3 runs scored. 1 RBI, has 1 base on balls, 1 hit by pitch, and no strikeouts. Let me finish telling you about Cope. He had batted 10 times, had 3 hits, 2 runs scored, 2 doubles, 3 RBIs, and 2 strikeouts. Correction, no strikeouts, my bad. So the count is no balls in 1 strike. And there's a pitch missing low by Muniz. Count evens up at 1-1. Now we have runners at second and third with 2 outs here in the bottom half of the first inning, and no score between the Stars and the Larks from Hays, Kansas. Stars from San Diego, California. 2-1 now the count. Ball missing low and outside as the count goes to 3 balls, 1 strike. That was Muniz's 21st pitch already here in the ball game. And that swing and a miss by Ryan Kuba. And on Kuba, we don't have any information on him as he was added to the roster. There's a foul ball along the third base side. So the count stays at 3 balls, 2 strikes, with 2 outs here in the bottom half of the first. We have a timeout by home plate umpire Ben Harlow. Batter's ready now, and here's Muniz's pitch. Fouled off again by Ryan Kuba. Usually we try to do a little research on most of these players, but when we get the lineups, we get them just right before the ball game. And there's a foul ball there by Kuba. So didn't have time to run down and get some info on him. Count still full at 3-2 now. It's a foul ball right off Kuba's foot. He hops around, and I think he's going to be fine. Umpire goes to hand the pitcher a ball just to give Kuba a little extra time. He does have a protection on that left foot, but sometimes it doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt. So we have a full count here now, 3-2. Here's Monice's pitch, missing inside for ball 4. And Moniz has put all base runners on with base on balls as the bases are loaded. And that's going to bring up left-handed batter, left fielder, number 22, Cabot Van Til. Van Til comes in batting .333 as he's played in 2 games, has been up to bat 6 times, has 2 hits, 2 runs scored, 1 base on balls, and 1 strikeout so far here in the tournament. Both these 2 teams, the Hayes Larks and the San Diego California Stars, both qualified for this championship week. So this is their 3rd game. We have 2 teams that came out of the first week that already played 6 games. There's a pitch by Muniz. Count goes to 1 ball, 1 strike. Strike 2 to Cabot Van Til. We have bases loaded with 2 down here in the bottom half of the first inning. There's a pitch low. Nice job there by Kirk. And now the count goes full. The base runners will be taken off as we have 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and the bases loaded. And there they go. And that missing way outside. So Muniz has walked 4 batters. And Jocelyn will score from third base. Cope will move over to third. Kuba goes to second base. And here comes Coach coming out to talk to Muniz. As the San Diego Stars have taken a 1-0 lead over the Hayes, Kansas Larks. And coming out to talk to Muniz is pitching coach Keith Harper. I was supposed to be joined here tonight by San Diego's legendary pitching coach from the San Diego Wave, but they have a game early tomorrow at 1 o'clock. I say early because this game probably won't get over till 1 or 2. And so he was not able to join us here this evening, but hopefully he'll join us tomorrow and give us a little color commentator at the 9:30 game. That foul ball along the third base side. Solomon going over to the stands area, but it goes reach the stands. We have strike 1 now. Now batting is number 3, Tristan Salinas. As Jocelyn scored to make it 1-0 on 4 walks given up by Fabian Muniz. Cope at third, Kuba at second, Van Til at first. And the count evens up now at 1-1. Salinas comes in batting .500. Has played in 2 games. There's a ball hit on the foul ball along the third base side. So the count goes to 1 ball, 2 strikes. He's been up to bat 6 times, has 3 hits, 3 runs scored. He's been hit 3 times, and he has 1 strikeout. As he's up there with the bases loaded and 2 down. And he hits Muniz, hits Salinas. And the umpire said, no, wait a minute. He must have stepped into that because he's not allowing him to go to first base. He will stay there at home plate. Van Til goes back to first base as he had moved to second already. There's a hard hit ball along the third base side, goes foul. That didn't miss by much. That could have been extra bases there for Salinas. The center fielder there for the San Diego, California Stars. Missing inside. Count goes full now, 3-2 to Tristan Salinas. And Muniz has dug himself a hole here. And there goes the runners, a hard hit ball, and wow, that didn't miss the Ryan Cope, who was heading down the line by much, as Tristan Salinas turned on that ball. And it looked like it just barely missed Ryan Cope. 3-2. There goes the runners. This time Cope kind of hose up a little bit. There's a hard hit ball in the left field. That could be gone. That is a grand slam by number 3, Tristan Salinas. As we have now had 4 grand slams here in the 84th National Baseball Congress World Series. So that takes the score now to the San Diego, California Stars 5 here in the bottom half of the first inning, as Tristan Salinas hits that at least 385 feet for a grand slam home run.
For the next 10 minutes through 10:54, you can get the WBC 20
That's going to bring up the first baseman, number 25, Adrian Andrews, for the Stars. Andrews comes in batting .600, has played in 2 games, has batted 5 times. He's 3 for 5, 2 run scores, 1 double, 4 RBIs, has 1 base on balls and 1 strikeout. So he's up there with the bases cleared now, as Tristan Salinas has recorded 4 RBIs on a grand slam here in the 84th National Baseball Congress World Series, powered by Westar Energy. Boy, does he have a story to tell his grandkids one day. That's what this NBC's all about, memories. There's the ball hit back to the pitcher. Muniz goes to first base for out number 3, but not before the San Diego, California Stars scored 5 runs. So at the end of 1, it is the Stars 5 and the Larks 0. We'll be right back. And we welcome you back here to Lawrence Dumont Stadium. You are watching the Hays, Kansas Larks versus the San Diego, California Stars. This is Frank Martinez, your play-by-play announcer for tonight's game as we go to the top half of the second inning. But in the bottom half of the first, the Stars scored 5 runs on 1 hit, a grand slam, as Fabian Muniz walked 4 and had 1 hit batsman. Correction, that hit batsman was taken away. I forgot about that. That was Salinas. Now batting for the Larks will be the catcher, number 25, Easton Kirk. And he gets hit by Quintana. So Kirk will move to first base. It's going to bring up the first baseman, number 33, John Rensel.
First baseman number 33, John Rensel.
And Rensel comes in batting .500. He's been up to bat 8 times, has 4 hits. There's a fly ball into center field. Center fielder Salinas gets under and makes the catch for out number 1. Brings up the right fielder, number 15, Clayton Raspberry. Raspberry is batting .286. Has been up to bat 7 times, has 2 hits, 1 run scored, 2 RBIs, and that ball gets away from catcher Gonzalez. And the runner, Kirk, hits to second base. And the count is 1 ball, no strikes to Clayton Raspberry. As we have 1 out here in the top half of the second inning with the score, the Stars 5 and the Larks 0. Tana's pitch, ball hit to the first baseman. Andrews scoops it up and takes it unassisted.
Third baseman number 3.
At first base for out number 2. Bring up the third baseman, number 3, Cole Sullivan. And I have nothing on Cole Sullivan as far as batting, so this must be his first game. Cole, strike 1. Cole Sullivan is a switch hitter from Coppell, Texas. He's a 5'11", 195-pounder. And the count is now evened up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kirk is at third base with 2 outs. There's a ball hit to the shortstop. Kuba, and makes the catch for out number 3. So at the top half of the second inning for the Larks, they scored no runs. At the end of 1.5, it is the Stars 5 and the Larks 0. We'll be right back.
For 60 years, Goodwill has helped people with disabilities, like Dontre, develop skills through job training opportunities. Dontre wanted to work, but he struggled with managing his task lists and communicating with coworkers. With the help of a Goodwill employment training specialist, Dontre got a job he loves and improved his communication and time management skills, becoming an independent and reliable employee. Donate, shop, educate, employ. Learn more and give at goodwillks.org.
And we welcome you back here to Lawrence Dumont Stadium along the banks of the Arkansas River as you're watching the 84th National Baseball Congress World Series powered by Westar Energy. We are in the bottom half of the second inning. And leading off for San Diego will be the catcher, number 23, Hank Gonzalez. Gonzalez has played in 2 games. He's been up to bat 5 times, has no hits, 1 run scored, reached on a base on balls, and has 2 strikeouts. There's a hard hit ball to the left-hand side. That looks like it is gone. It is a home run by number 23, Hank Gonzalez, here in the bottom half of the second inning. but now takes the score to 6-0 in favor of San Diego, California Stars. And looks like that's going to be it for Fabian Muniz. And we're going to have a new pitcher coming in for the Hayes Larks. It is going to be a left-handed pitcher. As soon as I get a number, I'll let you know who it is. It is number 19 for the Hayes Larks. And it's going to be Walter Pennington, a left-handed thrower from Broomfield, Colorado. He's a 6'3", 200-pounder. He's a junior out of Colorado School of Mines. And so Pennington, Walter Pennington, is now the pitcher for the Hayes Larks. All right, let me see if I can give you some numbers on Muniz. He went one full inning. Only gave up 2 hits, a grand slam home run and a single home run. Gave up 6 runs, 6 earned runs, 4 base on balls. And as he faced 9 batters. So now coming on number 19, Walter Pennington. And first batter he'll be facing is the top of the lineup. It's going to be third baseman, number 27, Brett Schiffentizel. And Schiffentizel attempts a bump, but pulls back. Calls strike one as the ball goes right down the middle. So the count is 1 ball, 1 strike as we're in the bottom half of the second inning. The score, the Stars 6 and the Larks 0. Once again, both teams came in with a 1-1 record here in pool play. They are taking 2 teams out of pool play. Heads up there. A hard hit ball into the stands. It always seems to be when the ball goes into the stands, it always happens usually from a left-handed batter, and it seems to really ricochet. Count is full now, 3-2 now to Schiffentizel. And I believe we are pronouncing that name correctly. Missing low was Pennington. So Schiffentizel will be at first base. And will bring up the second baseman, number 33, Brady Jocelyn. Jocelyn bats right-handed. He's from El Cajon, California. And looks like he goes to Crossmont College. That's the only information that I have on him also. 1 ball, no strikes now to Jocelyn as we have a runner at first base. With no outs here in the bottom half of the second inning. 77 degrees here in Wichita, Kansas. So we're at Lawrence Dumont Stadium along the banks of the Arkansas River. 2 balls, 1 strike. Throw down to first base. Back in safely is Schiffentizel. Three and 1 now to Brady Jocelyn. And ball 4 now. So going to first base will be Jocelyn. Moving over to second base, Shift Thistle brings up the right fielder, number 20, Ryan Culp. Culp reached on a base on balls and then scored off that home run by Salinas. Culp is a right-handed batter. He's from Santee, California. He's a graduate from Sonoma State. And there's a bunt right down the first base side. Renzo is letting it go, and it finally goes foul. So the count's going to be no balls and 1 strike to Ryan Culp. As we have runners at first and second, with 1 run already scored on a home run by Hank Gonzalez to make it 6-0 in favor of the Stars. There's a pitch missing inside by Pennington, and we have action in the bullpen again for Hayes. Looks like it's number 21. And there's a bunt laid down there by Culp. Nice play there by Sullivan for out number 1. Second baseman Myers was covering. So runners are moved over as Culp has a sacrifice. It's going to bring up the designated hitter, number 19, Dallas Seidel. Seidel is also from Santee, California. It shows here that he is a free agent. 1 ball, no strikes now to Seidel. Swinging strike 1. Evens up the count at 1-1. With runners at second and third and 1 out here in the bottom half of the second inning. Missing outside was Pennington, who came in here in the second inning, relieving Muniz. 2 balls and 1 strike. And here's the pitch. Swing and a miss there by Dallas Seidel. So the count goes 2 balls and 2 strikes now to designated hitter Dallas Seidel. Pennington's pitch and holding up is Seidel. They do ask the umpire at third base whether he went or not, and he says nope. So the count goes full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Runners at second and third with 1 out. And the right-hand side of the infield is in. So is now the left-hand side as they creeped in. And that's ball 4 to Dallas Seidel. So he will be at first base. And Pennington records his first base on balls. So the bases are full now for shortstop, number 46, Ryan Kuba. And here comes pitching coach once again, Keith Harper. And it looks like that's going to be it for Walter Pennington. And coming into the ball game for Hayes will be number 21, Shane Browning. Browning is a right-handed thrower from Lubbock, Texas. He's a 6'1", 210-pounder. He's a graduate from Angelo State. Good sized kid. Comes right over the top. But he's going to be facing bases loaded. As Shane Browning is now done, or correction, Walter Pennington is now done for the evening. Pennington gets credited with 1/3 of an inning. Going to be facing shortstop number 46, Ryan Kuba. Right-hander against right-hander. Call strike one there. So Shane Browning comes in on relief for the Hayes Larks. And we're going to be a timeout. Count is no balls, one strike. Runners at first, second, and third with one out here as we're in the bottom half of the second inning. Swing and a miss there by Kuba. So the count, no balls, two strikes. First base coach goes over to Seidel, gives him some instructions, and we're ready to go. 0-2 the count. And missing low, and a nice job there by Kirk. Stay in front of that. But count goes to 1 ball, 2 strikes. To Ryan Kuba. And there's the pitch. Call strike 3. That was right down on the inside corner there. As Kuba goes down for out number 2. Looking. It's going to bring up the left fielder, number 22, Cabot Van Til. Van Til's a left-handed batter. Van Til reached on base on balls in the first inning and was hit in by that home run by Salinas. One of the 4 RBIs that Salinas recorded with a grand slam home run. No ball, 1 ball, no strikes now to Van Til. 2 outs here in the bottom half of the second inning. 2-0 now the count. That one misses high. Schiffethizel at third base. Jocelyn at second. And Seidel at first base as the bases are loaded. That hit in the corner. 2 balls, 1 strike now to Cabot Van Til, the left fielder for the San Diego Stars. And here's Browning's pitch. Fouled to the left-hand side. That's going to reach the stand. No, it's not going to reach the stands area. There's a couple kids down there get a souvenir. They're down in the field pass. There's an area that gets rented out. So 2-2 now the count to Van Til. There's a pitch missing high and outside by Shane Browning. So we have full count now, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Runners at first, second, and third, and they're going to be taken off with 2 outs. The score already 6-0 in favor of the San Diego Stars over the Hayes Larks. There's Browning's pitch, and there's a ball fouled off. The runners will have to go back to their bases. Still have a nice little crowd here. We had a fairly decent crowd for the feature game between the Forsters and the Studs. Two fixtures here in the NBC World Series. Speaking of fixtures, so is the Hayes Larks. There's a ball hit in foul territory out of the stadium. And I say that about the Hayes Larks as they have been a 5-time runner-up here in the NBC World Series. They were runners-up in 1995, 2000, 2001, 2007, and 2016. Ball hit to the second baseman. Myers goes to Renzo for out number 3. But not before the Stars score 1 run at the end of 2. It is the Stars 6 and the Larks 0. We'll be right back.
My dad received a kidney about 15 years ago from his sister. He had 3 siblings that all raised their hand, and he had one that was a great match. And that's not a benefit or a privilege that a lot of people have. Without that gift from my Aunt Teresa, it's very likely my dad wouldn't have seen my kids grow up. When you're just asked that question, would you like to be a registered donor? It's hard to imagine why someone would say no. I'm Jeff Jones. I'm a registered organ donor. Are you?
And we welcome you back here as we're going to the top half of the 3rd inning between the Hayes Larks and the San Diego, California Stars. The Stars were winner of one division in their league out of the Western Baseball Association, and the San Diego, California Waves were the winners out of the other division, and they had a playoff, and the Waves beat them. But the Stars did qualify. That ball hit into center field.
Center fielder number 6, Matt Munoz.
Salinas makes the catch for out number 1. That was Darryl Meyer. It's going to bring up the center fielder number 6, Matt Munoz. Munoz has played in 2 games, is 0 for 3 so far here in the tournament. There's a swing and a miss by Munoz. The count goes to 1 ball, 1 strike. He does have 1 strikeout. Ball hit to the first baseman. First baseman Andrews goes unassisted for out number 2. It's going to bring up the left fielder, number 12, Ryan Randall. Ryan Randall is from Garland, Texas, a 5'10", 185-pounder, a junior out of Abilene Christian. Comes up to bat for his 2nd time. In the 1st inning, he flew out to right field. So he's 0 for 1 here in the ball game. But he is batting .200 now in the tournament, as this is their 3rd game. There's a hard hit ball along the first base side, goes foul. As Andrews takes a couple steps, but just watches it go foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Ryan Randall, the 3rd batter here in the top half of the 3rd inning for the Hayes, Kansas Larks. There's a ball hit into left center field, left fielder. Van Til moves to his left, makes the catch for out number 3. So top half of the third, no score. After in 2.5, it is Stars 6 and the Larks 0. We'll be right back.
When I first moved here, I was lost on the plaza, and I looked lost, and there was a lady who was at the bus stop, and she yelled at me while I was at the red light. "What are you looking for?" And I was looking for Volker Boulevard. She said, "Pull over, I'll draw you a map." You don't expect that to happen in a city, but Kansas City is one of those unique places where people do bond together, and organ donation is a perfect way to do that. Hi, I'm Brian Busby. I'm a registered organ donor. Are you?
And we welcome you back here for this ball game between the San Diego, California Stars, who are up 6-0 over the Hays, Kansas Larks. As we go to the bottom half of the third inning, and leading off for the Stars will be the center fielder, number 3, Tristan Salinas. Salinas has been up the bat one time in the bottom half of the first inning where he hit a grand slam home run. So he has 4 RBIs. Salinas is 1 for 1 with 1 run scored, 4 RBIs, and he's batting .571 here in the tournament. Coming back out to pitch for the Hays Larks is Shane Browning, a right-handed thrower. There's a foul ball. Along the left-hand side, the count goes no balls, 2 strikes. Defensively for Browning, first base is Renzo, second baseman Myers, at third base Williams, Williams at short, Solomon at third, Rando's in left, Munoz in center, Raspberry in right field, and catching is Kirk for Shane Browning. And there's a swing and a miss. Strike 3 by Tristan Salinas. We're out number 1. It's going to bring up the first baseman, number 25, Adrian Andrews. Andrews hits the foul ball along the third base side. Andrews is from Lakeside, California, and he's a sophomore from Grossmont College, which looks like where most of these players come from. 1 ball, 1 strike now to Adrian Andrews, the first baseman for the Stars. The check swing. And first base, they check with the first base umpire. Greg Mudd says no, he did not go. So the count is 2 balls, 1 strike to Andrews. There's a swing and a miss by Adrian Andrews. So that evens up the count now to 2 balls and 2 strikes as we are in the bottom half of the third inning. There's a hard hit ball up the middle. Munoz will get that and throw it in to Myers. So Andrews records his first hit of the game. It's going to bring up the catcher, number 23, Hank Gonzalez. Gonzalez is a bats right-handed. He's from Chula Vista, California, 5'10", 170-pounder. A sophomore from Southwest Oregon. Gonzalez is 1 for 1 with 1 run scored and 1 RBI. He is batting .167 now. And that is fouled off to the right-hand side. Out were a bunch of kids in the kid area. Gates are locked, though, being 11:15 p.m. or almost 11:20, looks like. No balls, 2 strikes now. There's just kind of a check swing there by Gonzalez. Was able to get a piece of it. Browning so far has pitched 1 inning. Has given up 1 hit, 2 strikeouts, and he has faced 4 batters. That missing high now. For ball 1, 1-2 now the count. To Gonzalez. Gonzalez hit a home run to start off the inning in the bottom half of the 2nd inning. He goes down swinging this time for out number 2 as Browning records his 2nd strikeout. Chris, I believe that is his 3rd strikeout. Now batting will be the 3rd baseman, number 27, Brent Schiffenthizel. Schiffenthizel is up there. He's been up twice. Grounded out to shortstop in the 1st inning. As he is 0 for 1. Also had a base on balls. Count goes 2-0 now to Schiffenthizel, with Andrews at first base and 2 outs here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning between the Stars and the Larks, with the Stars leading 6-0 as they scored 5 runs in the 1st inning and 1 run in the 2nd. And Shane Browning's ready for his delivery. Call strike. So the count is now 3 balls and 1 strike. And Andrews not taking much of a lead at first base, even though the first baseman's playing off. And there's ball 4 to Brent Schiffenthizel here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. And he will go to first base. Moving over to second base will be Adrian Andrews. And now batting will be the 2nd baseman, number 33, Brady Jocelyn. Jocelyn is officially 0 for 0. He has 2 walks here in the ball game so far. He is batting .571. There's a hard hit ball to the shortstop, Williams, who goes to Myers for the force out. And at the end of 3 innings of play, it is the Stars 6 and the Larks 0. We'll be right back.
The city's not just built, it's grown to the needs of people. You make the infrastructure, the muscle, bone, and circulation so natural to the body of the city that you almost forget they're even there.
And we welcome you back here to Lawrence Dumont Stadium as we go to the top half of the 4th inning. With the Hayes Larks leading off will be the shortstop, number 31, R.J. Williams. And Quintana's pitch missing inside. Count is 1 ball, no strikes now to R.J. Williams. Williams is 0 for 1 so far here in the ball game. He has 1 strikeout, but he is batting .300 in the tournament. Call strike. So the count is 3 balls and 1 strike now to R.J. Williams as he starts off the top half of the 4th inning. And there's a strike on the outside corner by Noah Quintana. So we have a full count now. And change up there at 68 miles an hour trying to hit that outside corner. Missing. So Williams will be going to first base on a base on balls. It's going to bring up the designated hitter, number 16, Wyatt Divis. Divis is officially 0 for 1 here in the ball game with a strikeout, but he is batting .273 for the tournament. Call strike 1. Quintana, the pitcher for the San Diego Stars. Defensively, he has Andrews at first base, Jocelyn at second. Cuba adds short, Schiffentizel at third. There's a foul ball by Divis. Van Til is on left field, Salinas the center fielder, and Culp the right fielder. Gonzalez catching for Noah Quintana. No balls, 2 strikes to Wyatt Divis, the designated hitter for the Hayes Larks. As we have a runner at first base, 1 and 2 now the count. Missing inside. Tana was trying to turn that over. Looked like the ball just didn't quite get the position he wanted. There's a hard hit ball to the left side of Jocelyn at second base. That's going to find the gap. So Divis records his first hit of the game. And moving to second base is R.J. Williams. As now the Hayes Larks have something going here in the top half of the 4th inning with no outs. And now batting will be the catcher, number 25, Easton Kirk. And so far, Easton is 0 for 0 here in the ball game. He got hit by a pitch to start off the top half of the 2nd inning, but was left stranded at third base. Quintana misses high and outside. Kirk is batting .500 though here in the tournament. Count is 2 balls, no strikes to Kirk. And there's called strike 1 by a home plate umpire. So the count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike with runners at first and second, no outs, as we're in the top half of the 4th inning. And the San Diego Stars up 6-0 over the Hayes Larks. The Larks are trying to get some runs across. Count is 3-1 now to Easton Kirk. And there's call strike 2. So we're going to have a full count now, 3-2. To Easton Kirk. Left-hander against left-hander here in the top half of the 4th inning. There's a ball missing low. Kirk was pretty positive about that one. So he just drops the bat. So he reaches on a base on balls. That's the second one given up here in the top half of the fourth inning by Quintana. So Williams will be at third base. Divas moves to second. Kirk goes to first. And now batting the first baseman, number 33, John Renzel. Renzel flew out to center field in the top half of the second inning as he recorded the first out of the inning. So he's 0 for 1. He is batting .444 in the tournament. Missing outside is Quintana. So the count goes to 1 ball, 1 strike now to John Renzo. There's a foul ball along the right-hand side. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Runners at first, second, and third with no outs. As Renzo is trying to score some runs for the Hayes Larks. There's a ball hit to the first baseman. He's going to be able to make a play at second, and that was Kuba covering for the force out, but a run does score. Williams comes across as Divas moves over to third base. And on Kirk, it is a 3-6 force out, and a fielder's choice there for Renzo, who will be at first base. As 1 run scores, now the score. The Stars 6 and the Larks 1. Coming up to bat for Hayes will be the right fielder, number 15, Clayton Raspberry. Raspberry is 0 for 1 here in the ball game as he grounded out to the first baseman as he had an unassisted play at first. But Raspberry is batting .250 for the tournament. Count is 1 ball, 1 strike now to Raspberry. From Noah Quintana, left-handed pitcher, hitting the outside corner. So the count goes to 1 ball, 2 strikes. We now have runners at first and third for the Hayes Larks with only 1 out here in the top half of the fourth. There's the ball hit in the gap between first and second. Coming across will be Divas. Moving to second base will be Renzo. And Raspberry records his first hit of the game and an RBI. We're going to have a timeout as Gonzalez goes out to talk to Quintano. There is some action out in the Stars bullpen. Looks like throwing out there is number 24. I'll let you know who that is in just a second, but first batting will be the third baseman, number 3, Cole Solomon, is up with runners at first and second, and 1 down. Solomon so far is 0 for 1 here in the ball game as he flew out to the shortstop to make the third out in the top half of the second inning. That one fouled off, so the count is no balls, 2 strikes to Solomon. And now the score is 6-2 as Divas had scored on that base hit by Raspberry. There's a ball hit to the third baseman. He's going to be able to touch third base and goes to first for the double play. Nice job by Schiffentizzle. That ball hit directly to him. So at the end of 3.5, it is now the Stars 6 and the Larks 2. We'll be right back.
Mount up, take off, and chase the sun. Experience more of what makes Kansas great. And let K-Tag help you get there. 236 miles of road, endless destinations of wonder. Start your adventure with K-Tag. Get your free K-Tag at myktag.com.
And we welcome you back here to Lawrence Dumont Stadium as we go to the bottom half of the fourth inning. You're watching the 84th National Baseball Congress World Series, powered by Westar Energy, San Diego Stars 6, and the Hayes, Kansas Larks 2. As we go down to the bottom half of the fourth, leading off for the Stars will be the right fielder, number 20, Ryan Culp. And Culp so far here in the ball game. He reached on a base on balls in the first inning and scored a run on a home run there by Salinas. Grand slam that was. And then he had a sacrifice fly. Not correction, a sacrifice bunt in the second inning. 1 ball, 1 strike now to Ryan Culp, swinging for strike 2. And Shane Browning back in there for the Hayes Larks. And ball hit to the right-hand side. Moving over is Myers. Myers calls off Renzo and makes the catch for out number 1. Myers, the second baseman, as both the first baseman and second baseman went after that as it fell into short right field, and Myers was able to make the catch. Brings up the designated hitter, number 19, Dallas Seidel. Seidel is 0 for 1 here officially in this ball game, as he has 1 base on balls, batting .200 for the tournament. Browning's pitch into the ground, so the count goes to 1 ball, 2 strikes by Shane Browning. 1 out here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. Count evens up now at 2-2. The ball hit to the first baseman. Goes to Browning, who was covering. That was Renzo to Browning. 3-1 on the putout. We're out number 2. It's going to bring up the shortstop, number 46, Ryan Kuba. Kuba's 0 for 1, has scored 1 run and had a base on balls. He is batting .273 here in the tournament. First pitch is a strike. Second pitch a strike. So 0-2 now to Kuba. Browning looks like he may, that ball is hit deep into left field. And making a great catch is Munoz for out number 3. So at the end of 4, it is the San Diego, California Stars 6 and the Hayes, Kansas Larks 2. And we'll be right back.
If we really put everything in our name that we do, it would look like this. Professional mechanical, electrical, plumbing, structural, telecommunications, civil, transportation, aviation, water, wastewater, energy, land development, planning, field services, survey, geotechnical, materials testing, inspection, 3D scanning, air and water balance, engineering consultants.
And we welcome you back here as we go to the top half of the 5th inning. And the Hayes Larks will be batting. Coming up will be the second baseman, number 9, Daryl Myers. By the way, this is Frank Martinez, your play-by-play announcer. We hope you guys are enjoying the telecast. A great job by our crew here at Lawrence Dumont Stadium, running the board and the camera. Once again, Daryl Myers now batting. Second time to bat here in the ball game, as he came up to bat to start off the top half of the third inning, and he flew out to center field. Quintana so far has gone 4 innings, has given up 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, 2 base on balls, and 2 strikeouts, as he's faced 16 batters so far here in the ball game. Myers is 0 for 1, and he is batting 143 here in the tournament. Left-handed batter swinging for strike 2, as the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. We started it all off in the bottom half of the first inning with the Stars scoring 5 runs. They came back, scored 1 run in the bottom half of the second, and then the Hayes Larks scored 2 runs in the top half of the fourth to make it 6-2 is where we stand. There's a ball hit into right field, and Culp moves to his right to make the catch for out number 1. It's going to bring up the center fielder, number 6, Matt Munoz. This is Munoz's second time batting. He grounded out to the second baseman to make the second out in the top half of the third inning. That call, strike 1. Quintano faced 3 batters in the first, 4 batters in the second, and there's a base hit there by Munoz into left field. So Munoz records his first hit of the game. As I was saying, Quintano faced 4 batters in the second, 3 batters in the third, and 6 batters in the fourth. He is now coming up to his third batter here in the 5th inning. Now batting will be the left fielder, number 12, Ryan Randall. As Randall is 0 for 2 so far here in the ball game. He's batting 182, and there's a ball hit into short center field, and Salinas comes in to make the catch for out number 2. It's going to bring up the shortstop, number 31, R.J. Williams. Williams is from Rockwell, Texas. Is 5'10", 180 pounders. And the count is 1 ball, no strikes. Williams is 0 for 1. He scored 1 run, 1 base on balls, 1 strikeout, and he's batting .300 for the tournament so far. Two balls and 1 strike now to the shortstop, R.J. Williams. As we have a runner at first base, there's a ball hit to the third baseman. Schiffentizzle goes to Jocelyn cover, and there's a force out at second base. So at the end of 4.5 innings of play, it is still the Stars 6 and the Larks 2. We'll be right back. And we welcome you back here to Lawrence Dumont Stadium as we go to the bottom half of the 5th inning between the Stars and the Larks, with the Stars up 6-2. Leading off will be the left fielder number 22, Cabot Van Til. Still pitching is Shane Browning for the Hayes Larks. As the ball hits to the second baseman, Jocelyn. Jocelyn moves to his left, goes to Andrews at first for out number 1. 4-3 on the putout. It's going to bring up the center fielder number 3, Tristan Salinas. Salinas hit a grand slam home run in his first, struck out in the third to start off the inning. There's a pitch missing low and outside. No balls, 1 ball and no strikes to Tristan Salinas. Swing and a miss there by Salinas. Count goes to 1 ball, 2 strikes. Once again, he hit the grand slam home run, then he struck out in the 3rd inning. There's a ball missed by Browning, inside and high. So the count evens up at 2-2. With 1 out here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. There's a foul ball along the third base side. Kids reach over the rails and are able to get a souvenir of the 84th National Baseball Congress World Series, powered by Westar Energy. There's a swing and a miss by Salinas as he goes down for the 2nd out, and then goes down swinging for the 2nd time in this ball game. Now batting the first baseman, number 25, Adrian Andrews. First pitch misses for ball 1. 1-0 now the count to Andrews. And pitch hitting that outside corner. And Andrews shakes his head like greeting with the home plate umpire. So 1-1 the count. There's a foul ball out of the stadium. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to the first baseman, Andrews, for the San Diego Stars. And he slaps at that one along the right-hand side. Renzel moves over to the fence area, but is out of play. So the count stays at 1-2 now to Andrews. Beautiful evening here, or late evening that is, because it's almost midnight. There's call strike 3. So Andrews goes down looking. So at the end of 5 innings of play now, it is the San Diego, California Stars 6 and the Hayes, Kansas Larks 2. We'll be right back.
Kansas Gas Service delivers natural gas to many of the companies you know, ensuring they have the energy they need to grow and build strong communities, providing cost-effective, safe, and reliable natural gas for a better tomorrow today. Kansas Gas Service.
And we welcome you back here to Lawrence Dumont Stadium as we go to the top half of the sixth inning. And batting for the Hayes Larks will be the designated hitter number 16, Wyatt Divis. One ball, one strike now to Divis. Divis is 1 for 2 here in the ball game. With 1 run scored and 1 strikeout, is batting .333 for the tournament. Quintana misses outside, 3-1 now the count. Quintana so far has gone 5 innings. Has given up 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, 2 base on balls, and 2 strikeouts. Faced 20 batters. But Divis flew out to left field for out number 1. Brings up the catcher, number 25, Easton Kirk.
Catcher number 25, Easton Kirk.
And by the way, I just got a little bit of update from official scorer and Hall of Famer Michael Dean. That home run given up to Gonzalez in the second inning was the 29th home run of this tournament. And that home run, that grand slam by Salinas in the bottom half of the first inning was the 4th grand slam that we have had here in the tournament. I've had the pleasure of seeing all 4 grand slams. There's a hard hit ball to the first baseman. Andrews is able to run it out, beating Kirk to the base for out number 2. So unassisted 3 for out 2. It's going to bring up the first baseman number 33, John Renzel. Renzo is 0 for 2 with 1 RBI, and he is batting .400 here in the tournament. A ball hit into center field. Salinas moves to his right, makes the catch for out number 3. So at the end of 5 1/2, still the Stars 6 and the Larks 2. And we'll be right back.
This bud's for the dream and the people bold enough to pursue it. For those who come from nothing and rise to something. It's for those who take everything this country has to offer and make it their own.
And we welcome you back here to Lawrence Dumont Stadium as we now go to the bottom half of the 6th inning between the San Diego, California Stars and the Hayes, Kansas Larks. Stars up 6-2. And leading off the bottom half of the 6th inning for the Stars will be the catcher number 23, Hank Gonzalez. Browning still in there pitching for Hayes. As Shane Browning has now recorded 3 2/3 innings, has given up 1 hit, 1 base on balls, recorded 5 strikeouts, and he's faced 13 batters so far. And he is up to his 60th pitch. And there's ball 4 to Hank Gonzalez. Gonzalez will be on at first base on a base and balls. Going to bring up the third baseman, number 27, Brent Schiffenthisel. And he squares around a bunt but pulls back. He is 0 for 1. Officially only been up the bat one time. Grounded out to shortstop in the first inning and has had 2 base on balls in the second and third inning. One ball, 1 strike now to Schiffenthisel. And that bounces in front of home plate, and a nice job there by catcher Kirk to keep that in front of him. He runs that ball down, so the Gonzalez had to end up staying at first base because Kirk was all over it. The count is 2 balls, 1 strike now to Schiffenthisel with the runner at first base and no outs. As we're in the bottom half of the 6th inning. 3-1 now the count. And here's Browning's pitch. Missing high for ball 4. And Kirk looks at the dugout. So 2 base on balls given up by Browning. Puts Schiffenthisel at first and Gonzalez at second. And here comes pitching coach Keith Harper out to talk. And looks, that's going to be it for Browning. So coming in for Hayes, I believe it's number 16, but let's check it out. Yep, it is number 16. So we'll give you some stats on 16 here. Looks like that's Wyatt Divis. The designated hitter will now be the pitcher. So he'll be coming in to pitch for the Hayes Larks.
Your attention now, pitching for Hayes, number 16, Wyatt Divis.
Divis from Lincoln, Nebraska. He's a 5'10", 190 pounders, junior from Arlington. And he'll be facing second baseman now, number 33, Brady Jocelyn, with the runners at first and second. And no outs here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Once again, the Stars leading 6-2 over the Hayes Larks. And here's Divis' first pitch was a strike, 0-1 the count. Just missing outside. The count evens up at 1-1. Wyatt Divis. Now pitching for the Hayes Larks. And scoring around a bunt is Jocelyn, but it goes foul. So both Schiffetizel will move back to first base and Gonzalez back to second. And the count is 1 ball, 2 strikes to Brady Jocelyn. In at third base just a little bit is Solomon. Second baseman Williams nears the bag at second base, with Myers playing at normal position at second. There's a ball hit to the shortstop. Williams goes to his right, goes to the second baseman. Myers covering, so we're going to have a force out. Jocelyn reaches on a fielder's choice at first base, and the play goes 6-4 on Schiffetizel at second base for out number 1. It's going to bring up the right fielder, number 20, Ryan Culp, a right-handed batter. Culp is 0 for 1 with 1 run scored and a base on balls, and he's batting .273 here in the tournament. Let me see if I can give you the total stats on Browning. He went 3 2/3 innings, gave up 1 hit, 3 base on balls, 5 strikeouts as he faced 15 batters, with Wyatt Divis coming in to relieve him. Not exactly sure what's going on out there. I was looking at stats, and we do have runners at first and third. Count is 1 ball, no strikes, but the home plate umpire, Ben Harlow, was writing something down. There's a hard hit ball over the second baseman's head. Myers goes into right field. Raspberry comes up, and that ball is going to be right at the third baseman. But going from first to third is Jocelyn. Scoring is Gonzalez. And Cope ends up.
Designated hitter number 19, Dallas Seidel.
Cope ends up at second base on that base hit. Jocelyn at third, and scoring is Hank Gonzalez. Now takes the score to 7-2 here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Now batting the designated hitter number 19, Dallas Seidel. And Seidel takes the first pitch, and it's ball 1. Cope got an RBI there as Gonzalez scored. Seidel is officially 0 for 2. There's a hard hit ball to right field. Backing up is Raspberry, goes over his head, and coming in to score is Jocelyn from third base, and in from second base is Cope, and Seidel's at second base with a double and 2 RBIs. As the now score goes to 9-2 in favor of the San Diego, California Stars. Going to bat now the shortstop, number 46, Ryan Kuba, for the Stars, is batting for his 4th time here in the ball game. Swing and a miss by Kuba. Kuba is 0 for 2 with 1 run scored, 1 base on balls, and 1 strikeout, batting .250. As the Stars have scored 3 times here in the bottom half of the 6th inning to make it 9-2 over the Hayes Larks. There's a ball hit into short center field. Coming in is Munoz, and he makes the catch for out number 2. It's going to bring up the left fielder, number 22, Cabot Van Til.
Left fielder number 22, Cabot Van Til.
And Van Til is 0 for 2 with 1 run scored, 1 RBI, and 1 base on balls, batting .250. Call strike 1 to Van Til from Wyatt Divas, who just came in on relief. We got Seidel at second base. There's a foul ball by Van Til. And a fan tried to catch that ball, but fell out of his hands and able to retrieve that ball. No balls, 2 strikes now to Van Til with the runner at second base and 2 down here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. And here's Divas' pitch, missing high for ball 1. 1-2 to count. The left fielder, Cabot Van Til for the Stars. He stepped off and we're ready to go. And a hard hit ball to the right-hand side. Looks like it's going to be foul. Stays in play, but it is a foul ball by Van Til. So 1 ball, 2 strikes with 2 down here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. 75 degrees now as we just now hit midnight here in Wichita, Kansas. And a swing and a miss, strike 3, but not before the Stars scored 3 runs. So at the end of 6, it is the Stars 9 and the Larks 2. We'll be right back.
At Davis Moore, we pride ourselves on our ability to provide a safe and reliable driving experience to all of our customers. When we say that safety is our top priority, we mean it. That's why every single one of our pre-owned vehicles goes through a 171-point inspection before it ever goes on our lot. And with our Davis Moore 360 guarantee, you can drive forever, worry-free. So let us prove to you that we have the best car care and best customer experience and why nobody beats a Davis Moore deal. Come by any one of our 5 Davis Moore locations or check us out online at davis-moore.com.
And we welcome you back here to Lawrence Dumont Stadium. You're listening to and watching the Hayes Larks from Kansas versus the San Diego, California Stars. As we go to the top half of the 7th inning, for the Hayes Larks, there'll be the right fielder, number 15, Clayton Raspberry. Raspberry's 1 for 2 here in the ball game. 0-1 now, the count to Raspberry. Still pitching is number 5, Noah Quintana. And let me get you some stats on him. He's gone 6 innings. Has given up 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, 2 base on balls, and 2 strikeouts as he has faced 23 batters. And Raspberry is 1 for 2 with 1 RBI as he's batting .333 here in the tournament. Count is 1 ball, 2 strikes now to right fielder Clayton Raspberry. So he leads off the top half of the 7th inning for the Hayes Larks. Missing is Quintana. Evens up the count now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's a fly ball into, what a great catcher by Salinas for out number 1 as Salinas. Tristan Salinas dives and makes a diving catch for out number 1. Brings up the third baseman number 3, Cole Solomon. What a great defensive play and a da-da-dun, da-da-dun. What he well deserved. It's what we do here at Lawrence Dumont Stadium in the NBC World Series. Anytime anybody makes a great play, and he definitely deserved that one. Quintana has defense behind him here tonight. Count is 2 balls and 1 strike now to Cole Solomon. Solomon is 0 for 2 so far here in the ball game. Three balls and 1 strike from Quintana. There is somebody warming up, and it's ball 4. So Solomon will take his base at first base. It's going to bring up the second baseman, number 9, Daryl Myers.
Second baseman number 9.
Left-handed batter for the Larks. Myers is from Castle Rock, Colorado. He's a 6'1", 190-pounder. I believe it's a junior from Benedict Klein College. Count is 2 balls and no strikes, and now Gonzalez goes out to talk, and walking out is Mickey D, the coach for the San Diego, California Stars, as he goes out to talk to Noah Quintana. We're going to have a small break here. We do have somebody warming up. Mickey D has been in this business for a long time. So he walks off as the umpire almost reaches the mound. And the Stars disperse. Quintana's going to stay out there. And still batting is the second baseman, number 9, Daryl Myers. A 2-0 count to Myers, as Quintana has a total of 95 pitches so far here in the ball game. And that one in for call strike at 74 miles an hour. Two balls and 1 strike to Daryl Myers. There's fouled off. So the count's going to even up now at 2-2. Scoreboard operator showing 3-1, but official score is showing 2-2. Now it is corrected. So here comes Montana's pitch, and that is fouled off by Myers. And another souvenir for a fan. And there's a ball hit to the first base side. Andrews dives for it, but it is foul. It was on the foul side, and first base umpire Greg Mudd calls it foul ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Runner at first base with 1 out as we're in the top half of the 7th inning, and the Hayes Larks down 9-2 now. There's a pitch by Quintana just missing. So the count goes full at 3-2. Hayes needs base runners here. And missing is Quintana. So Myers reaches on a base on balls. Solomon reached on a base on balls. He will now move to second base. And that's going to bring up the center fielder, number 6, Matt Munoz. Munoz now batting for his third time here in this ball game, as he hit a ball to the first baseman, went unassisted for out number 2 in the third inning. Then he had a base hit in the 5th inning as he was the second batter up. But he was forced out at second base on a 5-4 play for out number 3. Foul ball. Count goes to no balls and 2 strikes now to Matt Munoz. There's a ball hit into left field. Van Til backs up, gets under it, makes the catch for out number 2. F7 is the play. And now batting will be the left fielder, number 12, Ryan Randall, for the Hayes Larks. We have runners at first and second base, both reaching on base on balls. We have 2 down here in the top half of the 7th inning for Randall. Call strike 1. I think Quintana is bound and determined to go 7 innings here, at least. There's a foul ball by Randall along the left-hand side. So the count is 0-2 now to left fielder Ryan Randall as we're in the top half of the 7th inning. 2 outs. There's a ball hit right back to Quintana. It gets by the shortstop Cuba, and 1 run will score as Raspberry comes in from second base. Moving over to third base is Myers. And on at first base is Ryan Randall with his first hit of the game and an RBI as Sullivan scored from second base. The ball deflected off of Quintana, went right by Cuba at short base into left field. And now coming up to bat will be the shortstop, number 31, R.J. Williams. So a run scores, and now that takes the score to the Stars 9 and the Hayes Larks 3. So Myers is at third base. Randall is at first. And there's a pitch from Quintana. Call strike 1 on the inside corner. So 0-1 the count. There's a swing and a miss, foul ball. Correction. For count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. As we're in the top half of the 7th inning. And the ball hit into right center field. Moving over is Cope. He'll camp under it, makes the catch for out number 3. So top half of the 7th inning, the Larks score 1 run. At the end of 6.5, it is the Stars 9 and the Larks 3. We'll be right back.
Won't you come dream with me now, now? You're chasing down a beautiful dream. Won't you come follow me now, now? Won't you come dream with me now, now?
And we welcome you back here to Lawrence Dumont Stadium. We're going to have a pinch hitter for San Diego as they go down to the bottom half of the 7th inning. Looks like it's going to be number 16, Alex Golombuski, I believe, or Bieski. I'm going to say Golombuski. There we go. I believe that's the way you pronounce it. Swinging strike 2. He comes in the bottom half of the 7th inning as he replaces Tristan Salinas. Taking for ball 1. 1-2 the count. Wyatt Divis is now in his 2nd inning. There's a ball hit to the right over the second baseman's head, Myers. And Golombuski will record his first hit of the game. Going to bring up the first baseman, number 25, and Adrian Andrews.
First baseman number 25, Adrian Andrews.
Let me try to get Alex in the scorebook here. Strike 1 to Andrews. So Golombuski records is at first base as he records his first hit of the game. And let's see if they have anything on. Yes, they do. 1 for 1, and he is batting .333 here in the tournament. No balls and 2 strikes now to Adrian Andrews, the first baseman for the Stars. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. He goes down swinging. That's his 2nd strikeout. Andrews going down twice. Brings up the catcher, number 23, Hank Gonzalez. And I believe the last time was looking. So Gonzalez is up now for his 4th time. He hit a home run in the bottom half of the 2nd inning as he started off that 2nd inning. Then he struck out in the 3rd. And he had a base on balls but scored a run in the 6th inning. There's a bop up to the second baseman, Myers. Myers gets under it, makes the catch for out number 2.
Third baseman number 27, Brant Shiftizzle.
Going to bring up the third baseman, number 27, Brent Schiffenthizzle. And let me take a look at that name, make sure that is Brent. Brant, my bad. My bad, I wrote that wrong. It is Brent. I looked at that on the scoreboard and my apologies for getting his first name incorrectly, and I just misspelled it when I put it down on the books. And I apologize to his family. It is Brent Schiffenthizzle. Now up to bat with a runner at first base and 2 down now here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Missing inside is Divis. I will correct that on my scorecard here. Eyes are not what they used to be, I guess. There's a call, strike 2. So the count goes full now. 3 balls, 2 strikes. With a runner at first base and 2 down here in the bottom of the 7th. The score 9-3 in favor of the Stars. And there goes the runner, and it's ball 4 to Brent Schiffenthizel. He'll be going to first base. Moving to second is Golombuski. Now batting will be the second baseman, number 33, Brady Jocelyn. Jocelyn is 0 for 2 with 2 runs scored, 2 base on balls, and he's batting .444 here in the tournament. Check swing there by Jocelyn. Missing outside is Divis. So the count is 1 ball, no strikes. To Jocelyn. Missing low and outside. And Kirk making a nice stop there behind home plate. 2-0. As the crowd is coming alive here at Lawrence Dumont Stadium. Missing outside, 3-0 now. To Brady Jocelyn. And Davis pitch in there for strike 1. So 3 balls, 1 strike. Runners at first and second with 2 down here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. And a swing and a miss by Brady Jocelyn. So the count goes full, 3-2. Once again, the runners at first and second will be taken off since there's 2 outs here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. And there they go. And a swing and a miss. And Wyatt Divis strikes out Jocelyn for out number 3. At the end of 7, it is the Stars 9 and the Larks 3. And we'll be right back. And we welcome you back here to Lawrence Dumont Stadium. 84th National Baseball Congress World Series, powered by Westar Energy. Once again, this is Frank Martinez, your play-by-play announcer. Now batting the top half of the 8th inning for the Hayes Larks, the pitcher, number 16, Wyatt Divis. As he was the designated hitter and came in relief for the Hayes Larks. And the first pitch, Quintana hits Divis, so he will be on with as a hit batsman. It's going to bring up the catcher, number 25, Easton Kirk. Easton Kirk now the batter with a runner at first base. Easton Kirk is from Piedmont, Alabama. There's a hard hit ball to right field, but I believe it's going to be foul as it's breaking to the right of the right field pole. So that's just a long strike. He's a 6-foot, 210 pounders. Sophomore out of Wallace State. Quintano's pitch to Kirk. Going to fall in for a base hit. So Kirk records his first hit of the game. So now at second base will be Divas. And now coming up to bat is the first baseman, number 33, John Renzel. With runners at first and second and no outs here as we're in the top half of the 8th inning. Swing and a miss there by Renzel. And Renzel. Ball hit right past the diving first baseman, Andrews. Coming out around the score from second base is Wyatt Divas. Going to third base is Easton Kirk. And on the base hit is John Renzel. And I believe that's probably going to be it for Noah Quintana. As Renzel gets a base hit and an RBI. And coming out is Mickey D to talk to his pitcher. And he's at 115 pitches here in the ball game. So that's got to be pretty close to his limit. He has done a great job here, but now the score is 9-4 as the Hayes Larks have scored 1 run here in the top half of the 8th inning. And we have runners at first and third with no outs. We have number 9 and 24 now up warming up. And looks like it's going to be number 24 coming in for San Diego. Well, I'm trying to find number 24 here. Let me make sure I've got the right number here because I'm almost positive that's what I saw. He's a right-handed pitcher. And it does say number 24. So let me take a look one more time here on the roster. Well, I do not show a number 24 on the roster, so we'll see who Point Streak shows us. And even on well, okay, that may explain it. Number 24 normally wears number 55. They just introduced him here at the stadium as Michael Bayerlein. Bayerlein is a right-handed pitcher. From La Mesa, California. It's a freshman out of San Diego State. And that's all the stats I have on him. It's going to bring up the right fielder number 15, Clayton Raspberry. Now up to bat with runners at first and third here in the top half of the 8th inning with no outs. Yeah, official score just came in to say that is number 55, Byerline. So I was taking the PA announcer's word. And the second pitch is in for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. I'll give you some stats on Quintana as long as Byerline is now in there. They got him down as number 55 on point streak, but he's wearing number 24 here tonight. Quintana ends up going 7 innings pitching. He gave up 6 hits, 4 runs, 4 earned runs, 4 base on balls, 2 strikeouts, and he faced 32 batters. All right, Byerline now in. Count is 1 ball, 2 strikes to Raspberry, the right fielder for the Larks. And Byerline misses outside. Two and two now the count to Raspberry. Missing high. And ball 3. We have a full count now. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Runners at first and second with no outs here in the top half of the 8th inning. And the score now, the Stars 9 and the Larks 4. There's a foul ball by Raspberry, as the Hayes Larks have scored in the 7th and the 8th inning, putting up 1 run each. As the Stars were up 9-2. Now it's 9-4. Now the fly ball into left field. Van Til moves in, makes the catch, and tagging up, holding at third base is Kirk. That ball was not deep enough to move the runners up. So Raspberry F7 for out number 1. Now we're going to have a pinch hitter. Number 18, we're saying is Jacob Boston from Chandler, Arizona, 6'3", 200-pounder. Graduate out of Angelo State, is now up to bat for the Hayes Larks. He replaces Sullivan. There's a ball hit to the right-hand side. Second baseman Jocelyn moving over, also coming in. That is Jocelyn making the catch right along the right field line for out number 2. And home plate umpire just looks like it's going to be an interference call. Because the runner is at first base. No outs. For some reason there, I don't know if it was he got in the way of the runner or what, but I was looking at the ball going to the right-hand side. But all I saw was home plate umpire pointed at Byerline. And like I say, we do have a runner at first base, a runner at second. That would be Renzel, and at third base is Kirk. And now batting is the second baseman, number 9, Daryl Myers. So the ball hit to the first baseman. Goes over to Byerline for out. Now batting is center fielder number 6, Matt Munoz. So we have 2 outs. Another run scored. Kirk from third base. And the score now is 9-5 in favor of the Stars here in the top half of the 8th inning. .33, Renzo is at third base. Raspberry at second. And foul ball. Count goes to 1 ball, 1 strike now to Munoz. Runners at second and third with 2 outs here in the top half of the 8th inning. And another foul ball into the stands. One ball, 2 strikes now to Matt Munoz, the center fielder for the Hayes Larks. And a swing and a miss, strike 3. But not before the Hayes Larks scored 2 runs. So now at the end of 7.5, it is the Stars 9 and the Larks 5. We'll be right back.
Make the most of every single moment. After the game, see what's happening at visitwichita.com.
And we welcome you back here to Lawrence Dumont Stadium. We are in the bottom half of the 8th inning. And coming up to bat for the Stars is right fielder number 20, Ryan Culp. As the score is 9-5 in favor of the San Diego, California Stars. Ball hit to the shortstop. Williams goes to Renzo for out number 1. Here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. 6-3 is the play. It's going to bring up the designated hitter number 19, Dallas Seidel.
The designated hitter number 19, Dallas Seidel.
Seidel officially is 1 out of 3 here in the ball game with 1 RBI, 2 runs scored, 2 RBIs and 1 base on balls, batting .250 for the tournament. Ball hit into left field. Left fielder Boston, who is now playing left field, makes the catch for out number 2.
Number 46, Ryan Kuba.
It's going to bring up the shortstop, number 46, Ryan Kuba. With 2 down here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. And the Hayes Larks are down to their last 3 outs. being down 9-5, but they have scored 3 runs in the last 2 innings to make it closer. Once again, it all started off with 5 runs in the bottom half of the first inning for the Stars. Make it 5-0. In the second inning, they score 1 run on a home run by Gonzalez. Made it 6-0. And then the Larks put 2 on the board in the top half of the fourth to make it 6-2. That's where it stayed until the bottom half of the sixth inning when the Stars scored 3 runs to make it 9-2. And then Hayes scored 1 run in the seventh and 2 in the eighth to make it 9-5 is where we're at. 2 balls, 2 strikes now to Ryan Kuba with 2 outs here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. And the ball hit to the shortstop, Williams. Williams hustles in and goes to Renzo, who throws him off but is able to make the tag for out number 3. So at the end of 8, it is the San Diego, California Stars 9 and the Hayes, Kansas Larks 5. We'll be right back.
Hey, make it out every Friday of the NBC World Series this year. All college students will get free admission into the NBC World Series and will be offering $3 16-ounce Natty Light cans.
And we welcome you back here to Lawrence Dumont Stadium, 84th National Baseball Congress World Series. The Hayes Larks and the San Diego Stars. 9-5 in favor of the Stars as we go to the top half of the 9th inning. Frank Martinez bringing the action to you here tonight. We'll give you a rundown of who plays tomorrow before we get off. But leading off top half of the 9th inning is the leadoff hitter, left fielder number 12, Ryan Randall. Randall is 1 for 4 so far here in the ball game with 1 RBI, and he's got a .231 batting average for the tournament. No ball, 1 ball and 1 strike now to Ryan Randall from Michael Byerline, who had came in the last inning. Just missing high. 2-1 now the count to Randall. There's a hard hit ball into left field. Van Til moves to his left, makes the catch for out number 1. It's going to bring up the shortstop number 31, R.J. Williams. Williams is 0 for 3 with 1 run scored, 1 base on balls, and a strikeout with a .250 batting average for the tournament. And Byerline's pitch missing for ball 1. 1-0 the count. As the Hayes Larks are down to their last 2 outs here. And there's a hard hit ball high into left field. Coming in is Van Til, makes the catch for out number 2. It's going to bring up the pitcher, number 16, Wyatt Divis. Divis is 1 for 3 here in the ball game with 2 runs scored and 1 strikeout, batting .308 here in the tournament. Also, Divis has pitched 3 innings. Gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, 1 base on balls, and 3 strikeouts as he has faced 13 batters. No balls, 2 strikes now to Divis by Michael Bayerline. And here's the pitch. Missing high for ball 1. 1-2 now the count. Once again, we're in the top half of the 9th inning with 2 down. And the Stars up 9-5 over the Hayes Larks. Just in missing. The count evens up now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Had a great evening here of baseball at Lawrence Dumont Stadium. Full count now to Wyatt Divis, the pitcher. And Divis reaches on a walk. It's going to bring up the catcher, number 25, Easton Kirk. Kirk now up to bat, left-handed batter. Kirk so far is 1 out of 2 with 1 run scored, 1 base on balls, and he is batting .500. And here comes Bayerline's pitch, missing high for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Once again, Divis at first base with 2 outs. And call strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike now to Easton Kirk. And here's Bayerline's pitch. And it fouled off to the left-hand side. So the count goes 1 ball, 2 strikes. With 1 runner at first base and 2 down here in the top half of the 9th inning. Backing up now is Andrews at first base. And there's a high fly ball in the infield. Schiffentizel gets under. Oh, he drops the ball. Schiffentizel, the ball pops out of his glove. So at third base will be Divis. First base will be Kirk on that error. And now coming up will be the first baseman, number 33, John Renzel. And Renzel tonight is 1 out of 4 with 2 RBIs as he's batting .417 here in the tournament. A left-handed batter. And here's Bayerline's pitch, missing low and inside. 1-0 the count. So the Hayes Larks still have a chance here. They have runners at first and third. There is 2 down though. Missing low, and blocking that is Gonzalez. The runners stay. 2 balls and no strikes now to Renzel. And here's Bayerline's pitch. Missing. The ball gets away from Gonzalez. Coming in to score from third base will be Divis. And moving over to second will be Easton Kirk. As the ball got away from Gonzalez. As it bounced into the ground. Now score now 9-6 in favor of San Diego Stars. But the Larks aren't done yet. 9-6. And the count is 3 balls and no strikes to John Renzel. There's ball 4. So we're going to have runners at first base. And a runner at second base with right fielder number 15, Clayton Raspberry, coming up to bat. And here comes Mickey D, coach for the San Diego Stars. And out warming up, I believe it's number 9. That's who was warming up earlier. It is a left-hander, number 9 for San Diego. So let's see whether he comes in or not. That is Clayton Lewis. And they are going to be bringing him in. So coming in to pitch will be number 9, Clayton Lewis, a left-hander from Santee, California. He's a 5'8", 150-pounder from San Diego Christian. So Clayton Lewis is asked to come in and shut the door on the Hayes Larks. And Buyer line is done for the evening. Let me see if I can give you a line on him. He faced 1 2/3 batters. Gave up 1 run, 2 base on balls, 1 strikeout as he faced 9 batters. Like I say, now coming in will be number 9, Clayton Lewis, left-handed pitcher for San Diego. As the score is now 9-6 in favor of the San Diego Stars. But there is base runners on for Raspberry, who will be up there. And Raspberry so far is 1 out of 4 with 1 RBI, and he's batting .273 for the tournament. So Clayton Lewis now pitching for San Diego. And Gonzalez going out to talk to Lewis, reminding him that we have 2 down. Left-hander against left-hander here in the top half of the 9th inning, as the Hayes Larks have scored 1 run, but they have runners on base. There's a breaking ball in, caught for a strike 1. 59 miles per hour. That thing was turning over. You could almost see the laces on that one. Another breaking ball, missing outside. 1-1 now is the count to Rasenberry, as the Hayes Larks are down to their last out here in the top half of the 9th inning. And Lewis missing outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. And there's another breaking pitch hitting the outside corner. So the count goes full to 2 balls and 2 strikes with runners at first and second with 2 outs. And Raspberry gets a fastball, goes to the second baseman. Jocelyn goes to first, to Andrews for out number 3, and that is the ball game with the final score. The San Diego, California Stars 9 and the Hayes, Kansas Larks 6. So the Hayes, Kansas Larks go to 1-2, and San Diego goes to 2-1. So most likely that will be it for Hayes, and we'll see. The San Diego should still be in it. All right, let me see if I can give you some updates for tomorrow. Tomorrow is Wednesday. So tomorrow's action starting at 1 o'clock. It'll be the San Diego, California Waves versus the Colorado Black Bears. The 3:30 game will be the San Diego, California Force versus the San Antonio, Texas Angels. The 7 o'clock feature game will be the undefeated teams, the Colorado Cyclones versus the Cheney, Kansas Diamond Dogs. That ought to be a great matchup. And then the 9:30 game, it will be the National Junior College national team versus the Everett, Washington Merchants. That game at 9:30. So once again, we thank you very much for joining us here this evening. We hope you enjoyed the telecast. This is Frank Martinez wishing you a good evening, and we'll see you tomorrow night from the 84th National Baseball Congress World Series, powered by West Star Energy. Good night.